Hello everyone, welcome to my first long form video. I've always made short form content, so please bear with me while I try to figure this out. Today, as you can tell from the title, we are choosing the island layout for Albatross. It actually took me a really long time to finally pick an island because I really wasn't too sure of what I wanted for this particular island. Since this theme is so new to me, I didn't exactly know what to look for or what kind of space I would really need for any entrance or anything like that. The only thing I really knew was that I really wanted either an orange airport or a yellow airport, and that the green airport was my third choice, but my priority was an orange one. Spoiler alert, I did not get an orange airport. I was honestly so disappointed that I didn't get the orange airport. I don't know what was up with my polls this time because I usually pull orange airports specifically a lot, but it was like this time Animal Crossing knew that I was looking for it or something and they just refused to give me my orange airport. I think I only pulled an orange airport one time and it was on a map that I did not like, so I was unable to get the airport I wanted, but that's okay. Life will go on. And it really wasn't the biggest deal at the end of the day. I did get my second choice, which was a yellow airport, but jumping into the islands, I knew immediately from my first roll of islands that I hadn't found the one. Although I was super obsessed with the little flower pond on the island in the top left. I thought that was super cute, but I ended up going with the bottom right map. This island had cherries as their native fruit and mums as their native flower, along with Quinn and Boone as their starter villagers. I really liked the beaches that I saw because they were super spacious, unlike the beaches I just had on the previous island I was on, but I really didn't like how little space I would have to work with between resident services and my airport. So we quickly said goodbye to this island. My second island roll was another dud, unfortunately. I immediately knew I was going to pick the bottom right. I loved the little heart pond on it. This island had oranges as its native fruit and mums as its native flower. I did kind of like this island's layout. It felt pretty spacious. My big issue again was that I really wasn't feeling the entrance. Looking back now though, it's actually a really good one. I think I was justifying leaving with the fact that green was my third choice when it came to airport colors, and since I was so early into my search of an island, I felt like that was enough reason for me to just leave. I hadn't been searching for hours just quite yet, so I was able to just pack it up and go rather than just settle for this one. Now for my third roll, I was actually really happy with the bottom right map. I knew instantly that this was going to be the map that I was going to choose. This island had peaches and windflowers for the native items. I was so happy to see Muffy on this island because she is one of the villagers that is on my list of villagers for this island. So honestly, it felt like fate, but again, this island had a green airport, and I think that's how I justified leaving. Looking back now though, I am filled with so much regret on not choosing this island. I think it had a beautiful layout and the beaches were so nice. I don't know who let me leave this island. It's been keeping me up at night, honestly. I'm gonna tell myself it was for the best though, and that peaches are not the post-apocalyptic vibe that we're going for. They're too soft for the island we're trying to build. For the next roll, I thought all the islands had some potential. The one I chose ended up having peaches again, and this time it had mums. Honestly, looking back, I probably should have just chosen this island, but I think I couldn't get over the way that the entrance flowed into the resident services. It was just slightly off and it was really bothering me. I knew I would not be able to work with it, so I ended up just leaving. And I'm gonna be honest, I really did not want Rocket, but that was honestly subtle foreshadowing because guess who ended up having Rocket on their island. Now for the next roll of islands, I honestly didn't really like any of them. I just kind of chose one just to see what was going on with it, and this one had cherries and pansies as their native items, and I honestly hated this island. I did not like the airport. I didn't like how close the airport was to resident services. There was really nothing I could see for myself. I thought this island would work for a different theme, but not for what I was going for. Even though I don't really know what I'm gonna do, I knew this was not the one for me. For the next roll, which by the way was probably about an hour in, I actually chose this map because I have had this map before, I just never finished the island, and I just kind of wanted to look around even though I knew it wasn't going to be right for this island either. But I thought to myself, maybe one of these days I'll find this map again and I'll try to give this island some justice and complete it finally. But for right now, I ended up just leaving because I knew it wasn't going to work for what I wanted to do. Now with my next map that I chose, we were about an hour and a half into this map hunt, and I was finally able to pull pears, which was a surprise because I realized at this point that I had not seen pears this entire time, and I was so happy to finally see this orange airport, which I had not seen one single time until this point. And this island did have pears and pansies as the native items, and I honestly really liked that Cat was on this island. Even though she isn't the villager that I want for my sisterly villager, I still liked seeing her because she is one of my favorite for the sisterly villagers. I actually did go as far as talking to Tom Nook and taking the map and my house from Tommy, but ultimately I really could not with the beaches, so I just left. Okay, so I actually took this customization as a really good sign, and I was right because we finally found Albatross's map. Unfortunately, I popped out of that airport and I saw Rocket and I said, oh my goodness, why will you not leave me alone? But I mean, she's here to stay for now. And then I also had Poncho, and Poncho is actually the villager who shares a birthday with me, which I thought was really cool. I've never really had him on an island, so I was excited to see him. But as far as albatross goes, as you saw, we do have apples as our native fruit, which was the fruit I actually did really want. And we had mums, which I was really happy because mums is actually the first native flower I had on my first ever island. So I'm always happy whenever I pull it. If you didn't know, your birthday is actually what dictates what kind of flowers you can have as your native flower. So if you've ever wondered why you can't pull a specific flower, it's not your fault. It's just that your birthday can't pull that specific flower, unfortunately. Moving on to naming albatross though, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to call this island when I decided to do a post-apocalyptic theme, just because my last few islands have all been Taylor Swift inspired, and I really thought this island was going to be the island that I needed to break that streak for. But then I was literally listening to the Tortured Poets department and Albatross came on, and I was like, wait, that's actually a really good name for a post-apocalyptic island, and that is where I got the name from. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We officially have Albatross, and I'll be sure to try to make more videos very soon, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!